Like, no, stay in your lane, McConaughey. You're the rom-com guy. You got that down.
The thing that you are a master at is the rom-com lean.
You took a huge risk. You stopped doing all these romantic comedies.
No, honey, it's just sleeping. I shed many a tear with this choice. It was scary.
You let it die.
I may have just wrote myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood.
You gonna let us die?
What comes to mind when you think of Matthew McConaughey as an actor? True Detective,
I'll wear him down.
Interstellar,
You have no idea when you're coming back.
Dallas Buyers Club. But these roles didn't just fall into his lap. He had to take one of the biggest risks an actor could take.
Almost everybody besides my wife was like, what is your major malfunction, little brother?
Matthew McConaughey has one of the most inspiring stories of success in Hollywood, because before he got his iconic roles like Cooper, Russ Cohle and Ron Woodruff, Hollywood had a very different idea of who he was.
Matthew McConaughey is the undisputed king of romantic comedy.
I was on quite a good run of very successful romantic comedies, of which I thoroughly enjoyed making.
You want to talk about shooting a man's horse? Wah!
By the mid-2000s, McConaughey wasn't struggling. He was a leading man, highly paid, reliable, the face of a whole genre.
Tony, I'm getting really excited about this.
Whoa, wait just a second.
Starring in films like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Failure to Launch and Fool's Gold, McConaughey had become Hollywood's go-to guy for romantic comedy. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's pretty common for an actor to find what they're suited to and stay comfortable. Two examples that come to mind are guys like Seth Rogen or Jason Statham. These are extremely successful actors, but they've built their careers playing variations of a very recognisable screen persona. Statham being the stoic hard man,
That don't do so well in tight spaces, sir.
and Seth Rogen being, well, Seth Rogen. So McConaughey had become the rom-com guy. It wasn't that he hated those films, the problem was that it was becoming too easy. But Hollywood had already decided who he was. In 2009, something had changed in McConaughey's life. His personal life was becoming deeper. Camilla, becoming a father, more responsibility and more emotional range. Meanwhile, the acting was becoming easier.
But I remember noticing at that time that my life was getting very deep. I have more joy, I have more sadness. When I received the romantic comedy script, I could look at it tonight and be like, oh, I could do that tomorrow morning.
He wanted work that actually challenged him.
Something that's gonna arrest me a little bit. It's gonna shock me, challenge me, scare me a little bit.
He started trying to get dramas and was willing to take major pay cuts.
It is time for Trip to spread his wings.
But there's an obvious question. Most aspiring actors could only dream of the position he had got himself in. Money, fame and security, constant work. Why risk what he already had?
You know, and you have a nice philosophy of life. Is that not true?
Just keep living.
What is your philosophy?
Just keep living.
I found this when I was writing the book. I found it in my diaries.
And right as my father passed away in 1992, I was learning how to deal with that.
10 Goals in Life, September the 1st, 1992.
It's about, taking a day at a time, but having the big picture in mind.
Number 4, Chase My Best Self.
It's about and instead of or.
Number 6, Take More Risks.
It's about rights instead of rules. It's give a direction, but you can take the exits.
Number 8, Win an Oscar for Best Actor.
The shift was inevitable. He wanted to find out what else he could do. But there was a problem. Hollywood wasn't offering it.
I'm not understanding.
Because I couldn't do what I wanted to do, I said, I got to stop doing what I'm doing. So I said, no more rom-coms. Leaving.
Now?
Mm-hmm. I called the agent, said, let the town know. It's not going to happen. I went to Texas.
He'd made his decision. He wanted serious work, and he was willing to put it all on the line.
Now, Camilla says to me, look, you don't know how long it's going to be dry. How long are you going to not go with work? This could go on. I mean, my family, my brothers and mother and everybody thought I was out of my frickin' mind. Why are you throwing a jackknife in this stuff where you're tripping yourself running downhill, man? You did it.
This is where the courage actually sits. Despite the doubt, the uncertainty, McConaughey's purpose was greater. His light-hearted films had consistently made over 100 million, trapping him in a lucrative but narrow lane. Hollywood believed audiences only wanted to see him smile, take his shirt off and play breezy characters. He was a proven product. Casting him as something completely different meant taking a risk when there was no obvious reason to take one.
I had my wife and myself to remind myself of that 4 a.m. clarity that I had in tears when I was like, no, I'm rolling the dice, I'm sticking with it.
After a while of no offers, he started to believe he'd actually destroyed his career and boxed himself into a genre that he couldn't escape.
But luckily Camilla and I just had Levi, so having a newborn son really helped sort of keep me grounded during that time, because it was a wobbly time, and I wasn't sure if I was ever gonna go back and work in Hollywood again. But this is non-negotiable. We're not going back. I was like, not going back. A year goes by, nothing. I call my agent, he goes, Matthew, I haven't even heard your name in 6 months. I did think I wrote myself a ticket out of Hollywood. I did look at other vocations, become a teacher, a wildlife guide. I seriously looked at those things. 18 months go by.
That must be so hard to say no.
It was, but saying no to it, I think sent a little invisible message to Hollywood that, oh, McConaughey's not bluffing.
After 18 months without anything other than rom-coms being offered to him, Hollywood would make McConaughey an offer that would test just how serious he really was. A romantic action comedy. The offer started at $8 million.
I read it, I pass, I say no thank you. Comes back with a $10 million offer, I said no thank you. Comes back with a $12 million offer, I said no thank you. It comes back with a $14.5 million offer, I said.
For 18 months, McConaughey had held his ground, but now he was being offered enough money to walk straight back into the life he'd left behind.
I can't believe you would dangle this in front of me.
But I ultimately said no.
Until now, Hollywood could wait. Eventually, McConaughey might get tired of sitting at home. Eventually, he might need the work badly enough to come back.
I'm not leaving until I get my money.
But turning down $14.5 million removed that possibility.
Maybe people go, oh shit, what's he up to? And when the word got around Hollywood that I did that, I think part of Hollywood said, oh, all right, McConaughey's not bluffing.
That motherfucker's a fucking problem.
Okay, quit sending him romantic comedies. He's really not doing them.
Fuck all y'all.
Oh, he's playing offense. He's not just doing nothing. He's playing, he's onto something.
He had been gone long enough that the image Hollywood had built around him was beginning to fade. For years, he had been everywhere. The romantic comedy poster, and now nothing.
It was gone long enough, had found anonymity enough, was not in your living room in a theater in a rom-com. You didn't see him on a beach shirtless. Where is he?
He couldn't convince Hollywood that he wasn't the rom-com guy, so instead he stopped giving them the rom-com guy altogether.
You don't just step out of Hollywood and enter, unless you turn that down because you got a plan. You got somewhere you want to go. And I think that made me more attractive as a new novel idea.
For the first time in years, Hollywood didn't know exactly what he was. And that uncertainty gave him something he hadn't had in a long time. Possibility.
20 months, 2 months after I turned that down, the offers came in that I was looking for, and they came in droves.
Hello? All the things that I wanted just came to me, and I just said, okay, here we go.
An hour ago, you didn't even know I was alive. I mean, you were going anyway.
In the early 2010s, he'd star in films like The Lincoln Lawyer, Killer Joe, Magic Mike, displaying an acting range audiences had rarely been allowed to see from him before. In Killer Joe, he plays a corrupt detective who moonlights as a contract killer. He's calm, methodical, and almost unnervingly polite.
I wasn't addressing you, sir.
Okay.
However, it would be his portrayal of Mud, a mysterious fugitive hiding on an Arkansas island, that would put him in the sights of one of the biggest directors alive.
And he goes, oh, you think that's a good idea? Have you seen Mud?
This is also the beginning of what you had titled the McConaughey.
That lead role sounds unbelievable. Who are you going to cast in it? And he said, well, I've been thinking about Matthew McConaughey.
A hell of a thing, ain't it? Now you need to tell me what your plan is to save the world. This thing needs to learn how to adapt, Murph. Stop it! Like the rest of us.
A few years earlier, Hollywood wouldn't even take the risk of casting McConaughey in a drama. Now Christopher Nolan wanted him to lead Interstellar, one of the biggest movies of all time.
And all of a sudden my work was challenging the vitality of my life. I was like, there we go. It wasn't about trying to break away from anyone's thought. It was about, this is what I want to do.
His role as Rust Cohle in True Detective would go down as one of the best performances in prestige TV history.
They came to me first for the role of Marty that Woody played, but I went back and I said, you know what, the guy I cannot wait to hear what comes out of his mouth is this Rusted Cohle guy.
World needs bad men.
Rust was flat, still, unwilling to comfort anyone.
We keep the other bad men from the door. This is real drama, and a real drama allows you, when I was talking about rom-coms having a ceiling and a basement, real drama is about there is no ceiling, there is no basement.
Pages of philosophical monologues, a character whose worldview is almost the complete opposite of his own.
And I am a believer, but to look at that stuff and go, geez, man, he's got a point. Maybe that is true. Maybe it is all a flat circle. If the only thing keeping a person decent is the expectation of divine reward, then, brother, that person is a piece of shit. Laugh as loud as you want, hate as much as you want, love as hard as you can love. Let me see you. That's what a drama allows. There's nothing to compress.
The rom-com guy was gone, and there was still one final piece of the story, fulfilling the goal he had written down back in 1992. The role was Ron Woodruff in Dallas Buyers Club, a dying man fighting desperately to stay alive. McConaughey transformed himself for it, physically and emotionally. The industry that had once told him to stay in his lane was now standing to applaud him for leaving it.
And the Oscar goes to Matthew McConaughey.
So, to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right, all right, all right. And to that I say, just keep living, huh? Thank you.